This is the Note Closers Show, where you get the latest developments in distressed note investing and learn the secrets of how you can control millions of dollars worth of property for pennies on the dollar. Get educated and entertained by someone who has closed thousands of deals and lives to support you in achieving the same. Now, here's your host, CEO of We Close Notes, Scott Carson.
All right. Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to the Note Closers Show podcast. We're excited today. Marks a great day. It's something we've been working on for the last few months. I have amazing marketing minions here behind me. For those of you that are joining us here on iTunes, this actually is the first episode that is actually going out in iTunes. So for those of you that are downloading and listening to us, thank you so much. We hope that you leave a nice review on iTunes once this is live and get rocking and rolling. We hope to help assist you in your note investing not an investing podcast, but note investing journey, right? Yeah. So one of the great things that we love doing at We Close Notes is we love helping note investors take those next steps. And so over the last 10 months, really, since last October, I believe, is when we started doing daily Facebook Live videos. So if you're listening to this on iTunes, you can catch the previous 149 episodes on our YouTube or Vimeo channels by looking just for vimeo.com/WeCloseNotes, or go to our homepage at WeCloseNotes.com and catch the previous episodes. But this marks the first episode of our live podcast that we've been toying around with doing for the last 10 months. And a couple things, if you're a note investor or a real estate investor or wannabe investor and you're tuning in to get some information, get some education that helps you make a decision or helps you pull the trigger on a potential real estate deal or note deal, we hope that you found a home to join us on an almost daily basis here as we do these podcasts. I'm Scott Carson. You heard the introduction. I am the CEO of We Close Notes. Been a very, very active real estate investor since 2002, since I bought my first piece of property a year out of college, and then made the evolution to note investor somewhere in the middle of 2007, 2008. But we're here to help provide you a ton of great information, a ton of education, some of the things that we're going to be doing here on the podcast. We're going to be bringing in not only investors that are closing deals, but we also plan on bringing in our vendors, the people that we work with on a regular basis that have not only helping our students close thousands of deals, but also helping us close thousands of deals. These are actual people that we use. One of the things I'm a very big advocate is actually sharing the people we use, not pimping out our database to the highest bidder. All right. There's plenty of other educators, plenty of other people out there, as you say, the guru aspect, that like to bring a vendor on and pitch their services because they're ultimately getting paid. Now, yes, do we have some affiliate sponsors for the podcast and what we do at WeCloseNotes.com? Of course we do. But we only bring those people on if we're actually using them as a vendor and for their services, or it's something that we think is valuable for everybody out there online or in the note world. So want to first of all welcome you to the Note family. Now, one of the great things, if you're listening to this on iTunes, you will often hear us during the episodes probably refer to questions that we take. And yes, you're probably listening, how do I ask a question? Well, we do live stream these on Facebook, so we want to give a big shout out and hello and a quick little wave to everybody, right? Hey, everybody. Hola. Who is watching us on our Facebook Lives while we're broadcasting. So we totally encourage those out there to continue to watch us as we film these live, but to also ask questions and be involved. Because our ultimate plan, and what we've been doing for the last 10 months, is we do get a lot of great ideas from those listening out there. We want to be able to help offer up, answers to the questions that you have, whether it's regarding due diligence or capital raising, or how do I find deals, or, hey, what's the due diligence on a note deal? What do I have to do? Does this deal make sense? And so from time to time, we will be bringing on live callers. We will be bringing on investors that are brand new, or also investors that are very seasoned, who have closed hundreds of deals over the last couple of years. So we're really really excited about that. If I can't say really excited one more time, it won't be soon enough here. But our biggest goal here is to help educate, help you guys pull the trigger and feel much more comfortable about the note business. Because I think a lot of people, especially a lot of real estate investors, these days are looking for alternative deal flow. If you're a fix and flipper, or you've been dealing with the foreclosures out there, you don't have to be a wizard to realize a lot of deal flow that for foreclosures, or people buying at the foreclosure auctions, or mailing out postcards to the foreclosure list, that deal flow has dried up. That river of foreclosures is now down to a trickle. Why is that? Well, obviously there are less foreclosures out there, but this another big reason for that is more and more banks and more sellers of those distressed foreclosures, those distressed assets, are selling the paper, selling the mortgages, the non-performing mortgages, off to larger banks or other banks, or large real estate hedge funds or REITs, or to funds like us that we close notes, where we can pick those up and have a variety of different exit strategies. So periodically throughout, we'll not only be talking about what's going on in the markets, we'll be talking about what's going on in foreclosure laws. We'll be bringing on attorneys to talk about different things, from non-performing notes to owner finance, to the owner finance coalition, to legislation. We have a whole huge list of amazing educators, amazing individuals and professionals out there who are glad to lend us their ear, or lend us their time, for roughly about an hour out of their busy schedule, just to be able to provide quality information that you can take to the bank to become a bank. Now, before I kind of dive into a little bit about myself, I've got some amazing people behind me who do a great job here in the offices at We Close Notes here in Austin, Texas. Austin, Texas is home. It's been my home since I graduated college in 2001 from a university just south of here called Southwest Texas State University. Yes, I'm a big advocate of Southwest Texas State, even though the name has changed to Texas State University. Graduated with a business degree and dove directly into the workforce. Bounced around for a little bit, do some jobs, until ultimately I really loved the finance industry. So ultimately ended up becoming a banker and financial advisor with Chase Mortgage. Left that after a little while to join a buddy of mine who started a mortgage company, and started diving into doing a lot of mortgages and running a very successful mortgage company that was doing loans in over 20 states across the country. Now, the great thing about making that transition from banker and W-2 to a self-employed person, basically, is there's a lot of freedom, but it also takes a lot of dedication to do that. So one of the things that we will focus on throughout the podcast are what are the things that you can do to make your day successful, whether you've got 40 hours or more to do this, or you've got 5 to 10 hours a week to squeeze in around your busy work-life schedule. So we'll talk a little bit about not only timing and work life, but also give you a lot of tools and tricks, and even recommend a few books, and have a few authors on along the way as well. But literally, really love the finance industry, really enjoyed the mortgage company. One of the biggest advantages that is that we worked with a couple people that actually the sponsoring broker for the mortgage company had been an educator, or still was an educator at the time, still teaching owner financing, creative financing. And so I have to give a big shout out to those two individuals, an individual by the name of Bob Leonetti and Jenny Kayla. Amazing people, learned so much information about real estate investing the right way, creative finance, and I also learned the note business, about creating owner finance notes, as I said, selling those off, but also the theories behind distress notes. And was able to take what I learned basically during my 3-4 year apprenticeship and apply it to my business and apply it to learning how to do real estate the right way and starting to help other real estate entrepreneurs launch their business. And then when everything changed in 2008, 2009, I'd been working with them since 2004. I walked away from the mortgage company and really started doing my own thing as a note investor. In 2010, we launched a company called Inverse Investments. Still up and running along with our other company, Inverse Asset Fund, and that's basically my main trading platform where we buy thousands of assets over the last few years. We close on hundreds of deals every 12 months, and what I'm most proud of is the amount of deals that our students and fellow note investors close out there that have come through not only our workshops and classes, but also our podcasts and live webinars we do on a weekly basis. So, but enough about me. I'll get more about me. You'll hear enough about me and totally be sick of me over the time, but I want to introduce really a couple of people that really help make this thing go, that you'll be hearing from them throughout. So the cast of characters behind me do an amazing job and are making their own name in the industry because of what they do and do it well. So but I thought I'd start off with ladies first, and we'll work our way left. So first we have our wonderful, I guess you could say, bat beater, duck thrower, portfolio manager, Jennifer. Hello. I'm always, is it Dagenhart or Searcy? What are you? Searcy, Jennifer Searcy. Yeah, I should know that by now. You've been here over a year now, but you have different profiles online. So all the good stalkers out there, right? Yeah.
Keep getting your tips.
Exactly. So you've been with us for a while now. Why don't you tell everybody out there that's watching or listening in on iTunes to the podcast, kind of your role. What's your biggest thing that you're doing here, and kind of when I'm in my hole in my office, what are you doing most of the time?
Well, handling. There's kind of a big combination of everything.
Right.
Mainly as far as the bids and dealing with the hedge funds and counters, collateral, contracts.
So Jen basically is the person that if people are submitting bids into us on different tapes or different assets that we make available, she's the one collecting the bids.
Yes.
You are the head cat herder. Let's just say that.
I need a bigger lasso.
A bigger lasso or a bigger gun, maybe a better way to put it. So yeah, Jennifer handles a lot of the deal flow. When we get tapes in, she's the one communicating usually with the hedge funds and our contacts at the different funds when we're making offers, when we're accepting offers, and doing a good job of us countering back and forth, not only on our behalf, but also working with the students to make sure their counters and bids and due diligence are done. Okay. Right. And you've got a bit of a real estate background. Before you were here, and before you got in this crazy world of notes, what were you doing? What's your history in real estate?
I had about 12 years in multifamily. And so that kind of was the main thing I did as far as managing multifamily portfolios. And then I went into the loss mitigation, protecting tenants and foreclosure with Jackson Associates, Bank of America, Fannie Mae. Did that for a while, and then came over to the dark side.
Came over to the dark side, the sexy side of real estate. So what she means by the Client Protection Act, or I'm sorry, what was that?
Protecting Tenants and Foreclosure
Protecting Tenants and Foreclosure Act. Basically, when banks are foreclosing on the borrowers, oftentimes the borrowers are using the properties as like ATMs. Can we agree to that?
Yes.
They've got tenants in place there. They're not the very good landlords, but they got tenants paying rent, but they're not paying their mortgage. So you were basically reaching out with, unfortunately, tenants that really had no place to go, working to try to either keep them in the property with new leases, getting rent collected, making sure everything was taken care of in that transition period.
Right. So we either tried to reinstate a lease contract, or we did a cash for keys so that we could get the property back, and we would provide them with that to move them into a different location. A lot of the homes weren't even habitable.
Right.
We had code violations like crazy, so we were dealing with the county and code inspections. So a lot of the times it was putting them up in hotels, giving them per diem, and then in the meantime still giving them the cash for keys to move out based on what the client wanted to do. If they wanted to stay and we could reiterate a lease, then we had to work with the county and basically with whichever bank they had the mortgage through to get the home habitable. So we had a lot of asset services that we reached out to as far as getting there. And
vendors and general contractors and all that good stuff. See how that works well with the note industry, huh?
Yes.
It's a great transaction. All right, awesome. Well, you'll be hearing from Jennifer throughout, probably a few choice words from time to time, as we mentioned, trades we're working on. Can we agree on that, everybody? I think we all have some choice words sometimes, but that's okay. Jen does a great job. If you're making bids in a We Close Notes, that's who you'll be basically probably submitting bids in as we offer up different trades throughout our episodes of the podcast, or as we do on a day in, day out basis for the most part. So the next lady you see in the middle there, big drum roll, is our amazing director of marketing, Nicole Herman. Yay! So Nicole, tell everybody out there kind of your role here with what you're doing here and some of the great things that you're doing at WCN and for the podcast as well.
So I'm marketing director, and so I handle a lot of the like Facebook posts and a lot of like anything creative or anything like picture wise you see on Scott's photos, besides his personal photos, but besides those, I handle a lot of that, and I handle a lot of the campaigns we do for Note Camp and the workshops and everything like that. So that all comes from me. And then if you watched the Don't Closure show on Facebook Live, you would hear my voice because I usually ask the questions, or I just ended up talking somehow.
She's fielding the questions for the ones that are listening for the first time.
Yeah. And if you see me look down every once in a while, I'm checking our
live
feed on Facebook. But if you're listening to this, you can't see that. But anyways, so yeah, I handle a lot of that, and then sometimes I mix in with Jennifer and Greg's job on Facebook stalking, and then IRA leads or just internet sleuthing.
Yeah, that's a great way to. I like that, internet sleuthing versus stalking. Our
borrower research.
There you go. Potential borrower research. Right. So yeah, Jen does good. Nicole does a really good job with the videos, the marketing and stuff like that. So yeah, if you see any of our infographics like that, 90% of the time it's usually her. The only time it isn't if I'm doing something on the weekend, and I'm not going to bother you on the weekend for the most part. But usually I should probably just wait because you probably do a better job than I do most of the time now. So which is good.
It's all buffer.
It's all buffer. It's all Canva, some of the great stuff that we use and tools. So we'll go through more of that. But she does a lot of that stuff for us with the different events we have going on in marketing. So yay, exactly, Nicole. So and talk about where were you before you came here? Because you had a little bit different, obviously different background than Jen and the next person we're talking about here too.
Yeah. So after high school, I moved to Waco for advertising. And then I graduated there, came here, worked for a lot of different things, churches, nonprofits, t-shirt shops, just a hodgepodge of many different hats that I've worn. And I fell into the note business. I really don't have any real estate background other than watching HGTV and, seeing some of the houses that we do due diligence on and saying that's a really cute house. And then,
well, that's really ugly.
Or that's really ugly. That's a shithole. Like really
yeah, this is live TV, so we can say that. That's all right.
I can believe it.
That's fine. So yeah, you did no real estate experience, but a lot of marketing experience.
A lot of marketing experience. And I went to art school. I just graduated like a year ago from art school. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Awesome. Glad to have you. Awesome. The next person you see here has been actually with us the longest for the most part. You're on how long? A year and a half now?
Probably like year and 3 months.
Year and 3 months is the one, the only Mr. Greg Arceza. Yay! Now, Greg actually started as an intern with us doing due diligence and things like that. But before that, talk about a little about your background because you've got a lot of real estate experience being a young cat.
Yeah, my grandpa was in real estate and kind of started really in rentals, and then my dad started doing fix and flips. So I ran around with him quite a bit from teenage to adult, getting materials, meeting with contractors, all that, the fun stuff that goes into fix and flipping. And I actually really do enjoy that part of it, but it does get, my dad got tired of doing that. So he met Scott at a workshop trying to branch out into the note industry, and he was like, hey, you should look into this with me and we can start something from the ground up. And so I was against it at first, to be honest, and was like, no, I like the fix and flip. And my dad's like, oh, I don't. So,
you like it, I gotta fund it. I don't like it.
So he goes, you can either join me or just watch me do it. And so I was like, nah, I'm not gonna watch you do it. I'll join you because most of the time he's always right anyways. And so
don't let your dad know you said that, right?
And so we did that, and then I needed an internship, and so Scott, Scott's office here in Austin is an hour from where I was going to school at, and so I came up twice a week and would do due diligence and just
Check taxes, full values,
photos, just all that due diligence that goes into the portfolio, and then went full time when I graduated in December.
Yes.
of last year. Yeah, and what school were you going to, so people know that? If you
So I went to the University of Mary Hardin Baylor. It's about an hour. It's in between here in Waco,
right?
Austin and Waco.
Yeah, it's not Baylor. It's
Yes,
University Mary Hardin
Mary
Baylor.
Hardin
So it's a sister school.
Yes.
Is exactly a great way to put it. But Greg, you and your dad have bought quite a few notes together.
Yes.
How many deals have you guys done?
He's done some joint venture outside of that,
Yeah.
but we're about 12 between us.
12 between them, but then how many joint ventures your
I
dad's
don't
done?
know how many he's done outside.
I know that should put you guys closer to probably 20, 30 deals, I think.
Yeah, probably closer to 20.
Yeah, that's awesome. So that's a good thing. So it's nice. Greg is actually spends a lot of time here.
Life revolves around notes.
Life revolves around notes. Man, don't make it sound so bad.
No, it's actually I like it. It's fun. There's a lot of traveling that goes into it, and it's just a fun environment.
Yeah, it is, especially when you have rubber ducks whizzing by your head from the other two culprits sitting next to you.
Oh,
Wait a second. Hey, no, wait a second.
That's
I
just
do
terrible.
recall they're all around my desk because someone,
Oh, you
There
can't say
won't be
my
names.
names to Greg.
our CISO, likes to throw them at me.
I think it's all just
It's
just
just
an retaliation.
retaliation.
Exactly. So, but Greg, you're 24.
Yes, just turned 24 Sunday.
So we won't ask the ladies their ages, but because that's rude. You don't ask a lady their age, right?
Never.
Exactly. It's like,
Especially me.
but Greg, you're 24. I mean, we were talking today because you just turned 24. Happy birthday recently. Of some great things, but if I look back what I was doing at 24, if I didn't know what I knew now, then life would be different, obviously.
Mhm.
Well, don't get me wrong, I love what I do now. It's a great time, but it's always nice when you can kind of kickstart your success 10, 15, 20, 40 years earlier than some people. So Greg actually came before he was interning. You did come to a mastermind and hung out with your dad and met a lot of people. And
Before I met you first.
exactly, you're like, oh, I might like this stuff. These are some pretty cool people. So
Yeah.
a couple of things that we believe in at We Close Notes and the Especially Note Closers podcast is we believe in a term called co-opetition. And what do we mean by that word? Well, it's a combination of the word competition and cooperation. And I'm a big believer that if you're a real estate investor out there who's fed up with the cutthroats that comes with wholesaling or trying to find deals, and if you're in a real competitive market, a lot of real estate investors can be very downright nasty sometimes. But then
Aggressive.
they're very, very aggressive. And not in a good way sometimes. All right. In the note world, we often find it's the opposite. Most people are extremely giving of their time, their success, resources. They're often willing to take time with you.
Especially if they're a Carsonite.
If they're a Carsonite, okay? Use the hashtag Carsonite. One thing that we'll be doing on a regular basis is throwing up episode hashtags to see what people are watching if they're listening to us. If you're watching up there, feel free to use the hashtag Carsonite.
Make sure you share the video too.
Yes, that would be great if you're sharing the video on Facebook Live as well. But for those that are listening, once again, we believe in a thing called competition. There's plenty of deal flows to go around if you're investing primarily in first lien positions. There's plenty of funding, plenty of raising capital. There's $7 trillion in private capital out there, and there's a ton of money sitting out there in self-directed IRAs, especially. And we have to give a big shout out to one of our sponsors for the podcast, the people over at Quest IRA. They do an amazing job, and we're very proud to have them as one of our main partners and sponsors for this podcast. They're just Quincy Long, Nathan Long, the Long brothers just do an amazing job and have such an amazing environment, work environment
They're
over
really
there.
nice.
They're great.
They're very nice.
Nice people, but also they do a great job. Because it's one thing to be nice, but there's a lot of people that are nice in a self-directed
They
IRA
know what
industry,
they're doing.
but they suck at service.
Yeah.
It's not the case with our friends over at Quest IRA. So we'll be having them on a regular basis, probably once every couple of weeks at least to talk about what's going on in the self-directed IRA industry, raising capital. They have different events, educational events are always great as well to do. So big shout out to our fans and not funding partners, but yes, I guess they are kind of our funding partners with a lot of our students and a lot of investors out there opening self-directed IRA accounts with them. So big shout out to Quest IRA. So one of the great things too that we'll be focused on is deal breakdown. We'll be doing a regular segment on different deals that we have bought ourselves or students have bought, right, everybody? One of the great things you will be hearing from a lot of students that are closing deals. Not just talk, not just huff, fluff, or hype, but people who are closing deals that don't have to serve to somebody who's controlling that deal. They're direct to the sources. And that's one of the big believers. There's 27,000 lending institutions out there, plenty of deal flow for everybody involved. You don't have to go directly just from one source because that person or that institution tells you, oh, you can't buy from banks. Banks won't deal with you. No, that's not the case. You can be direct to source and be buying for your own portfolio. So one of the great things that we do on a regular basis, we're buying notes, non-performing first liens, and also some contract for deeds on a regular basis. We'll be diving into the difference of those. But we closed on, 21, just a week ago. 23, that's right, 23. We closed on 41, 42 a month before, 9 a couple weeks before that. So we're closing on stuff on a regular basis here. So that's the biggest thing is we're going to be very, I hate to say the word, we're going to open the kimono for you, all right? Okay. You know, we might need to go buy a kimono and do an infographic like that. Maybe not. All right. Maybe not. Okay. Behind the green curtain. All right. So, might be a better image for everybody to think about. But we encourage questions. We encourage you guys to reach out. Drop us an email. Scott at WeCloseNotes.com. We will have an email up for the podcast episodes here before too long. But we encourage that. We encourage you to leave comments. Each of these episodes will also be posted to YouTube and Vimeo like we talked before. Leave comments. Feel free to share those. If you'd like for us to cover a specific topic, feel free to let us know what topic you'd like for us to cover, whether it's raising capital or it's vendors or it's accounting or something. Hey, that helps makes our job a whole lot easier. We're pretty good with coming up with content on a regular basis, but we always like to hit the hot buttons out there. Another thing we'll be talking about on a regular basis is what's going on in the news. Definitely, there's always sorts of different things. We talked about that a couple minutes ago, but we'll be talking about as articles pop up. We may differ from what we have planned depending on what's going on, just to share, hey, some big fund closed on 26,000 notes, or a law passed that day is changing. Another thing that you'll see from time to time is us talking about different events that we're attending, different conferences, different classes, or we'll even have some of the educators on there as they have different events going on. But it's not a pitch idea. The idea of that is just to help you kind of get to know those individuals on an individual basis. Not, oh, who's the guy, who's the speaker, but what really makes that person tick? Why do they do what they do as an educator or investor or vendor? What's things that they like? And one of the biggest things I think you can learn the most from is not a person's success, but their mistakes they've made along the way. God knows I have made plenty of mistakes. All right. You guys know I make mistakes on a regular basis. Because I walk in and do that. Oh no, let's just scrap that. That sucks. I'm horrible, right, everybody? So we will share our mistakes. We will share how we're goofing up on things. Oh, that didn't work. Why didn't it work? Well, this is the reasons it didn't work. What can we do to make ourselves better? And that's my biggest goal is to help shed a light on the path that you're walking down. Help you find, a lot of people when they get in the known industry, they don't know where to turn. They're overwhelmed with education or people talking who aren't really giving counsel. They're giving their advice. They haven't closed a deal in years, or they don't do it, but they are the authoritative expert. We will not be having those people on.
We hope to connect the dots.
That's the big thing. We want to fill in the gaps, connect the dots. We want to stay and help you color in the lines.
Yes.
All right. So that your note pictures really come out well. Now, it's masterpieces. Masterpiece Note Theater. I see a red smoking jacket in a roaring fire somewhere in our future with that. And a big leather chair.
Fan notes.
Yeah, there we go. But that's the big thing here, everybody. My note journey since I started note investing in 2007, 2008 has had its ups and downs. And oh my gosh, I look back at all the crazy deals, over the thousands of deals that I have done myself and helped others do. There's some interesting stories. You'll hear some interesting comments from interesting stories about borrowers or deal flow or wins and losses, because I think that's what you guys are looking for out there. It's not all about the good. You've got to share the bad and the ugly sometimes so that you can really help shed that true light on people's past out there. And that's what we plan on doing here on the Note Closers show podcast. We got to remember to say that now. One of the great things we do, I have to give a big shout out to all our students that are out closing things, that are out sharing their success stories. And we've got some amazing people who are doing amazing things out there, who are not only changing their lives, but changing people's lives around them, either funding partners or people they're helping along the way, or really the borrowers of people, borrowers on these note deals where they're going out and getting them reperforming and really helping people out. So we expect to have quite a few interesting stories along the way from people. Oh yes, definitely. We'll probably have a few guest hosts from time to time as my travel schedule falls into it, or as we take some time off. So don't be surprised if you see one of these three cats running the show and interviewing some more good people. So that's one of the most important things, is I want them to be on the first episode. And there is a person that's not here yet who's missing, who's been a big part of our growth over the last couple of years. And you'll see her on in the next couple episodes. With our VP of Operations, Stephanie Goodman. Woo! She not only is kind of the
she's the glue that holds it all together.
Yes, I was going to say that 4-letter adjective, the glue. It's a good way. That she definitely runs around. She keeps the lights on for us to make sure the bill gets paid. The power stays on and all that good stuff. Runs around behind me, the moving chaos that Scott Carson is, because I guarantee that would be another 4-letter word that she would use. Chaos coordinator. Ooh, I like that. Hashtag, if you've got hashtag chaos coordinator, would be another hashtag to put out there today. If you've got a good chaos coordinator, make sure you say thank you to them. And Stephanie has been a very, very big influence in helping getting things lined up and change from where they were. Golly, when I started teaching, going on almost 8-9 years ago, I guess. I started actually, 7 years ago, in 2010, when I started my first workshop. But she's been around for the last 5+, or right around 5 anyway. Started off as a student and came on as assistant, and really has helped clean up a lot of stuff, helped organize some things. She handles a lot of the events and behind the scenes action now. Although she has done quite a few deals in her time frame, so she'll be sharing some of her experiences. And I would not be surprised, she may not like this, but she may be hosting a show if I'm not around, just for the heck of it. Surprise.
And thank you, Stephanie.
Yes, thank you. She'll be on here as well. She's been doing some stuff last day or two, and so we will have her on later this week to go through it. But anyway, we also want to hear your stories. If you're a brand new note investor who's getting started and you've had a breakthrough, and it could be a simple breakthrough. It doesn't have to be closed on 100 deals, or like our buddies Joe and Jamie, who calling banks, and the first hit they're taking down is like 33 assets. That's great. We want to hear from you. If you're using a technique or a vendor on our show here on the podcast that you're using, we want to hear from you. Hey, I use them. They saved me $80. They helped me find a lien, or their tip helped me raise capital, or we used them and we closed a deal with them. We want to hear the success stories. It doesn't have to be 100 deals, thousands of deals. Hey, you close on your first note deal. I think you're going to learn more from that than any other deal you do. And so we always love to encourage those that are closing deals.
It's not the number of deals, it's the knowledge that you get, and to be able to increase that.
yeah, and being able to go out and duplicate it. Now, if you're going to do just one deal, you're doing 20, 30 different things at once, you're not going to be successful. You focus on one thing. But ultimately, yeah, if you're closing your first deal and you're making that transition from, like I said, from working full time for somebody else to chasing your dreams, we want to hear from you. And we want to hear your story. We want to share your story. Okay. We also have some amazing friends throughout the country. They're doing some great stuff. No matter how traveling, we're probably hearing from them on a regular basis too, their stories. And we're just, as I'll say it one more time, hashtag excited to have this rocking and rolling out there. There's a lot of people that have over the years helped us do some amazing things. Have been mentors to me. I could not start our first really podcast show without giving some shout outs to them. I mentioned Bob, Leonetti, and Jamie Kayla, who I learned the nut business from, and Ren have done amazing things. But personal mentor of mine, Greg Reed, who's a amazing author, motivational speaker, producer, entrepreneur, known as the Millionaire Mentor. Greg has a book called Secret Knock that you'll hear us talk about, but he's the author of probably the one of the best known books he's known for is Think and Grow Rich, 3 Feet from Gold. Greg, over the last years, has been somebody that I've bounced ideas off of and talked to during ups and downs, and been the quick 5 to 20 minute kick in the butt I think we all need from time to time. And so I hope to have him on here before too long as his schedule grows and go from there. But Greg's opened up an amazing amount of doors for me over the last 7 years, and I got to give a big shout out to him. So thank you, Greg. Yay. We also have to give a big shout out to some other people that do some amazing stuff. I have to give a big shout out to our mastermind members.
Oh, yes.
Some people have been coming for years with what we're doing. We celebrated our 16th mastermind event just a couple weeks ago in Cape Coral, Florida. And we have 2 amazing women who have been coming. One didn't make it this time. She had been the queen mastermind member, I guess you could say, or the reigning attendee with Kimberly Banks Fawcett. A big shout out to Kimberly Banks Fawcett at Dallas. Come for 11 years. Always interesting bouncing ideas off of her and talking with her. It's a big shout out to her. One of my many adoptive mothers across the country. And then also give a big shout out to Karen Peterson. Yay! Karen, it was her 11th mastermind, and Karen does an amazing job. Her and her husband Philip close deals. They also still work full time with. They have a security business that they own and operate, and they also got 2 amazing kids. Kimberly also has an amazing husband, Joe, who's a teacher. They're full time investors though, as well. And they've got 2 very rapidly growing boys as well. So big shout out to those ladies who've done a great job along the way. I also gave a big shout out to a guy that's also been very helpful over the last few years, helping us kind of take our business from one level to another level. Our buddy Chase Thompson.
Yeah.
Chase has been an amazing marketing mind. We're excited to see him growing and going on doing some things. And we'd like to carry him part of the Note family, him and Andrea, and the 3 kids that they have. Man, Chase, wow. Yeah, amazing family buddy, but we're very, very proud of the things that he's helped us provide over the last few years. So you can always check him out. Check those people out. Give a big shout out also to a couple guys that are doing some amazing things. My good buddy Jay Tenenbaum, now out of Scottsdale, Arizona, has closed on a couple hundred assets. He's been around for a while, for going on almost 4 years now. And then my buddy Wayne Snell out of Dallas is also doing some stuff. Closed on his over 300 plus deal a few months ago. And then Wayne's business partner, Natalie Patton, who does a lot of stuff. Let's just face it, without Natalie, Wayne wouldn't close on near as many deals,
She's
right?
also the chaos coordinator.
She is yes, Natalie Patton is a hashtag chaos coordinator for Wayne. But, well, obviously, these are some names you'll probably hear us talk about. If you don't already know those guys, they're some great students of ours. Not only students, but great friends that are doing some amazing things out there and have amazing stories to tell their own. So we'll have them all on throughout the rock and roll. I also have to give another shout out to some other individual people who have been very influential over the last few years. My good buddy, Aaron Young with Laughlin and Associates out of Reno. He also hosts a podcast called The Unshackled Owner on Voice America once a week. Aaron is like a brother from another mother. Laughlin and Associates is also one of our sponsors for the podcast. So we're glad to have them and honored to have them as a sponsor. And we do a lot with Laughlin and Associates. One of the biggest things you'll probably hear me say or Aaron say is that you want to set your business up properly. It's like building a house. You want a good foundation. And Laughlin does an amazing job, not only helping entrepreneurs, but thousands and thousands of business owners set up their companies and actually maintain the paperwork along the way, making sure you're compliant for all the little things that can happen. Because let's face it, it's not if you're going to be sued, it's when you're going to be sued at some point. And so they do a great job making sure your company's compliant. And Aaron's just a great guy. I've known him for years. Actually met him through Greg Reed. So a big shout out to Greg for making the introduction. But we do a lot with Laughlin Associates. We travel a lot. And Aaron comes to events. His amazing wife, Michelle, is awesome. She's a very, very rapidly budding life coach doing some amazing stuff. Just those are some great people you hear from us talk on a regular basis. And then they've got an amazing family, amazing kids that help Aaron out and just do their own great things that you'll hear us probably with them on a regular basis too. So I know I'm forgetting a ton of people. Oh my gosh. I was making a list of people too. So yes, thank you. I would be very amiss or very taken back.
I got you, Joel.
Thank you. I haven't talked to him the last couple of days because I've been sick. That's what it is our good buddy and one of my best friends, the connector, as we call him, Joel Markovitz. Joel is a great friend who started off as a vendor, and over the last 5 years, and I can't tell you how many times I have randomly driven through airports trying to find the way to the hotel with Joel in the car at different cities across the country. It's a running joke. Yes. If Scott's driving, Joel's in the car, we got to drive through an airport three times.
You're a funny pair.
Yeah. Joel does a great job. Joel is great, a very interesting, but also educational pastor in the industry over the last few years. Very well known throughout the industry. We like to call him, as we say, the connector, because he's so well networked throughout the industry and does a great job and just has a big heart. A big shout out to his wife, Donna, who's amazing. His two kids, Evan, who worked as an intern for us here recently, and then Samantha, who's does some great stuff. And then, of course, Daniel Singer, his attorney partner there. Daniel Singer is obviously the head of the law office of Daniel Singer. They're a special servicing company that does a lot of workouts for investors across the country. And I've known Joel for going on, I guess, 5-6 years now. And one of the guys I talk to on a regular basis. Joel's well known. I don't think you'll ever find anybody in the known industry say a negative thing about Joel, because he's just got a big heart and a big serving heart. And so a very big shout out to Joel. Always great to bounce ideas and go from there. There's been a variety of other people that I'm sure I'm missing out on that we'll get to over the years. Lots of people. So if I did not mention your name, please don't be taken aback. I love you.
There's plenty more podcasts.
There's plenty of episodes to get you involved on. One person I do want to mention that we'll have on is my buddy George Antone. And one of the things, George has such a big heart for what he does with finance and teaching people about financing and raising capital. Now, you may recognize George from the book, The Banker's Code, all right, or The Banker's Code Revisited. Great book. Should be one of everybody's top 10 books that are reading. They're actually a great book to give your kids to read as well. But I've known George, going about 5 years as well. And one of the great things is, George, we both have a very similar energy. Actually, we have a lot of students that kind of cross over. And George just has a big heart. And what's great is we don't talk as often as we probably should, but it's always good to get him on the phone. We like to share ideas back and forth. We actually try to hold each other accountable, because I'm not cannibal, accountable. It sounded like cannibal there for a second. The reason I said it, we like to eat, we enjoy food, right? So one of the things that we have held each other accountable is to evolve our businesses and kind of get off the day in, day out grind of teaching and traveling every weekend and starting to get better healthy wise. And you'll hear me talk about that throughout the episodes of things that I struggle with to get better and healthier. And George has also done things. So I give a big shout out to George. George is just an amazing guy. One of the guys that I love spending time with, whether it's 5 minutes or an hour somewhere, is just hanging out with a guy and bouncing ideas, because he's probably one of the smartest guys when it comes to money out there. that I can think of. But how are you on time? What are we doing on time here so far?
45 minutes.
Wow, we're at 45 minutes. Wow, time flies when you're having fun, right, everybody? Do we have any questions from anybody on the Facebook Live?
No, we don't.
Any comments?
George, George making a little bit of comments about us. Greg, the thorn between two roses.
There you go.
He says you do a great job in the office helping us morons. He says, well, this moron. So you're not a moron. You're not a moron, Joe. All right. Scott Hardwell says Carson Nation.
Carson Nation. I like that. That could be a hashtag. Thanks, Scott. Scott Hartwell. Appreciate it from Orlando, I believe. Foam fingers. That might be something we need to get. You might every once in a while hear us talk about the T-Rexes too. Yeah. Which is, if you're listening to iTunes, you probably want to go on, and we're not gonna spoil it. If you're watching listening to this on iTunes, you go out and check it out in our videos.
There's somewhere.
There's somewhere in there, and they make an appearance every once in a while. I think they're planning their next comeback actually right now, or their next comeback tour. Exactly. One of the things also, as I travel and speak across the country, which I am trying to do, usually once or twice a month in different areas, you'll hear us talk about, hey, where we'll be at. One of the things that we're kind of planning, and I'm going to just throw this out here, because if you have an idea, one of the biggest things is just to take it from your mind, but not only just to write it down, but also share it. So I realize I'm saying in front of Greg the entire time. You're right, Greg. Right? Is share it. So one of the things that we have planned is going back to kind of my roots. Now, when I originally started as a real estate investor in 2002, I failed on it, some rentals, and I wanted to be the next flip this house guy. Totally bombed. Okay. It took 2 years before I met my buddies and got back into finance. Started a mortgage company and started learning the right way. Well, when I went full-time in the notes in 2007, there's about a 2-year period here where I was hitting missing. I was closing some deals, and then there's peaks and valleys, like I think a lot of entrepreneurs run into. Because let's face it, 2007, 8, and 9 were very chaotic years. Am I missing something?
No.
Oh, all right.
No, we were just agreeing with you.
You're agreeing with me. Okay, yes. Very chaotic years in the industry. In 2010, especially the first part of 2010, I decided I was going to take and literally have the Visa commercial. What I mean by Visa commercial, that whole commercial about buying an RV for $10,000, buying tickets to all 30 Major League Baseball parks, $25,000, $5 average hot dog price, time with your friends, priceless. I thought I'd have a priceless moment, and literally take time off, not really time off from the note business, but focus on nothing but the note business. And so 2010, I started traveling. It's been roughly 3+ years nonstop on the road, basically nonstop, driving from city to city or flying from city to city. Sold everything. I had a big goal and faith in myself to get out on the road and start sharing things. And that's really what helped launch my career as the note guy, I guess you could say, of teaching people and sharing stories and making those relationships not only with local investors and investment clubs, but bankers and other real estate entrepreneurs to help them transition to the dark side of the force. All right. Been giving some ideas about this because I've been pretty, we cut down on our travel a ton over the last couple of years. Still do quite a bit of traveling for fun now this year, which has been nice. But I think our goal is to have a reunion tour.
Hey.
Like a 26-week reunion tour where we bounce around. Not 26 nonstop, because that would be crazy, and you guys would run amok here in the office. But there might be a few stops along the way you guys have to fly out. Get out and spend a little more time on the road. So I will take my motivation from Metallica.
Oh, yeah.
Metallica, yeah. Because we do love to travel and go to concerts and stuff like that. But looking to put together, 26, 27 spots over the next 6 to 12 months in different investment clubs, and actually probably a t-shirt put together. Ooh. So something for people that are out in the show. So we'd love to, not our groupies, our note groupies, but roadies, people on the road.
Your fans of Carson.
Our fans, the note fans, the extended note family is a better way. Note Nation, as somebody say either.
Carson Nation.
That's right. Called the Note Nation. Note Nation. We do have our own Carson Nation. But put that together and hey, just share what's going on. bring if you're local, bring it on, like we did with Cody Cox. We were in Portland
Mhm.
a few weeks ago, and others that we've done while traveling. So we'll probably throw that out there. You probably see more of that, so you probably see an update to that on the website. So our episodes will be, if you're watching this, hopefully you're either watching on iTunes. If you are on iTunes, love for you to leave a 5-star review. That would help us tremendously.
We're worth more than 5.
Yeah, well, I know, but you only go as high as
I
5.
know.
Thank you, Jennifer. I appreciate that. But leave some of your feedback on iTunes. And then also feel free to share this with anybody who you think might draw value from it. One of the great things that I think that we do better than most people, is, besides marketing, is that we do really give a lot of great information and we help people close deals. And that is ultimately what our goal with anything that we do is, to close more deals, not only just for us, but for the people that we help along the way, because we really believe in true win-win scenarios, win-win situations, that everybody should walk away from the table happy, because if they don't, somebody got screwed. Maybe not as big a win sometimes if you're a good negotiator, but things to keep things, if you a win-win makes it want to do more business. And that's our ultimate goal, is to constantly do more business. I would rather take a little less than a deal to do 20 more deals with an individual or a company, versus trying to get all the profits on one and then not close anything again with them as well. So once again, I think we're coming to a good spot for the first episode.
I think so.
We want to try to keep these at about an hour long for everybody. We don't want to be less than 30 minutes. We want to keep these over 30, 45 to an hour plus. That gives you guys plenty of opportunity to listen to everything while either you're driving, or you're working out at the gym, or just listening to a podcast when you should be working. So, but anyway, like I said, everybody, feel free to share. Feel free to email us with any topics. Either leave them on our Facebook page, or you can email me directly at scott@weclosenotes.com. I always check my emails. Not always the fastest responder, but you can always send us a message there at scott@weclosenotes.com, and someone will be in touch with you. So I think that's a good stopping point for episode 150.
Yeah.
Our first podcast episode that'll be on iTunes in a couple days from now. So I have to give a big shout out to our I guess I could say our podcast producer, Tom Hazard, and friends over there, who's doing an amazing job for some of our friends. And so we're really excited to be working with him and his crew, helping get this thing up and running and rocking and rolling along the way. So if any errors and uploads, it's Tom's fault, not ours. But anyway, we'll get those fixed out if there is. But once again, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. We hope it's been productive for you, and we'll see you on the next episode of the No Closers Show podcast.
Bye.
Greg's like, you see?